One of the biggest additions to Destiny 2 with the newly arrived March update was Nightfall Specific Loot, special items that you had the chance to get upon a Nightfall completion. But which of these items is best, and which Nightfalls should you spend the most of your time grinding? Those are the questions this video aims to answer as we take a look at all of the new Nightfall loot and compare them. And so, let's get started. What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and yes, today we are going to take a look at every single new Nightfall exclusive item added in the March update. Now, there has been one Nightfall so far since the March update did release. That Nightfall, the Pyramidion, contained an exclusive sniper rifle. Not every Nightfall piece of loot is a weapon. Some are vanity items like exotic ghost shells and sparrows. However, there are more Nightfall exclusive weapons out there. Let's start this video by taking a look at the Cosmetic Nightfall Rewards. First off, we have the inverted Spire strike. Every time this is the Nightfall, you have the chance to get the Trichromatic exotic ghost shell. Now, the perks for this exotic ghost shell are not available right now. We don't know them as of yet. Some of the exotic perks for ghost shells in the past have been actually quite useful, getting you a pretty big increase in, for example, resources, such as planetary materials. The Trichromatic could result in something similar. So while this ghost shell is certainly more cosmetic than something like an actual exotic weapon, this will still impact gameplay somewhat, and therefore, out of the next group we're going to talk about, the inverted Spire is something you may want to spend your time in. Next up, we have the strike that contains everyone's favorite boss fight, Exodus Crash. When this is the Nightfall, you have the chance to get the Impact Velocity exotic Sparrow. And as you can see, pretty cool looking Sparrow. Now, we don't know the stats and perks, but Sparrows really don't have any crazy stats or perks. The real question here is, will this exotic Sparrow have a completely unique trail? Most exotic Sparrows do have this. Some shoot flames, smoke, etc. The ones for Crimson Days have rose petals coming out the back. So we could see a totally unique, even strike-specific style of trail coming out of the Sparrow, which would make it quite cool. We could also see something that's already in the game. No one knows. Moving on, we have the Arms Dealer. When this strike is a Nightfall, you have the chance to get another exotic Sparrow with the tilt fuse shown here. Same question applies. We don't exactly know the perks or the stats, but that trail is really gonna kind of make this go from a very desirable piece of cosmetic loot to something you don't care about at all. And moving on from there, our last strike featuring a cosmetic Nightfall reward is a Garden World. When this is the Nightfall, you have the chance to get the Universal Wavefunction exotic ship. Now, out of all of these items, the ship is definitely the thing that impacts gameplay absolutely the least. You just see it in loading screens. But, I mean, it does look rather cool, and collectors, you definitely are going to like this. Now, that again is it for the cosmetic rewards. Moving on from there, we do have 3 Nightfall exclusive weapons. The first one is the one that we already did see, a Silicon Chroma sniper rifle. Now, I've done a video on this sniper rifle showcasing what it's all about and containing a guide for that specific Nightfall to try to get it. It's a decent sniper rifle, high impact, and it does have snapshot and a low zoom sight, which make it actually pretty decent for PvP. And because we've already seen this weapon and have already done a video on this, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Moving on, however, we do have something that we haven't seen yet. With this strike, Savathun's Song, when this is the Nightfall, you have the chance to get a new legendary auto rifle, the Duty Bound. Taking a look at these stats here, this is a 600 rounds per minute auto rifle. Generally, this archetype, while it does see play, it is overshadowed, or it used to be, by the precision auto rifles at 450. Due to their recent nerf with the same March update, the 600 rounds per minute auto rifles could start seeing a little bit more play. The other stats, however, aren't incredibly impressive. Comparing it to a very well-known weapon of the same archetype, the Scathlock actually has more range and more stability. The Duty Bound, however, does have a significant chunk more aim assist. Now, in terms of the perks, we have two different sights. Well, we have Adaptive Frame as well, but every gun in this archetype does. We then have Accurized Rounds to just increase the range, Ricochet Rounds to also just increase the range. Both of these are decent perks. And then we have the choice between Zen Moment. Causing damage with this weapon increases its stability. This, with a 600 rounds per minute auto rifle, can be very, very deadly. We've seen that actually with one of the Prophecy weapons. It gets incredibly accurate, so it's actually a very good perk. And then we also have, you could choose Rampage. Kills with this weapon temporarily grant increased damage, stacks up to 3 times. Rampage is undoubtedly one of the best perks in the game for PvE, and that was before it got a buff in the March update. Rampage is absolutely fantastic right now. I mean, we all know how good the Origin Story auto rifle is. So, having a weapon that you can actually, I would say, put Zen Moment on for PvP potentially, and then switch to Rampage for PvE, that's very powerful. This weapon has the option between 2 very good perks. Either one of these perks, I'd be saying it's good, but it has both. Now, it's sad it doesn't have both at the same time, certainly, but I think this is a weapon you're going to want to try to get. I don't think this is necessarily going to be the best in its category, but its flexibility makes it something worth going after. And moving on from there, the last strike we're going to cover is Tree of Probabilities. When this is the Nightfall, you have the chance to get the DFA Legendary Hand Cannon. Now this is a big deal. Now, taking a look at the stats here, you can start to see why it's a big deal. Rounds per minute is 140. This is exactly the same as the Better Devils, a very, very good, highly used hand cannon. So, great archetype. Now, this is combined with a great range and stability. In fact, compared to the Better Devils, the DFA has better range and better stability. So, we're off to a very, very good start. Minor stats are looking great too. It does have a smaller magazine than the Better Devils, but it has better reload speed, better handling, and a tiny bit more aim assist even. Moving on from there, we have the perks. Now, this is what's going to make or break this gun. Stats-wise, it's fantastic. But is this worth using over the Better Devils that has explosive payload, one of the best perks? Well, we start here with Adaptive Frame. Then we've got 3 different ballistics. After that, Drop Mag, which is okay, it's going to increase the reload speed, but then we have Accurized Rounds, increasing the range, one of the most important, arguably the most important stat on a hand cannon, even more so. And then we have Opening Shot. Again, one of the best perks you're looking for on hand cannons, period, especially for PvP. Heck, people are using the Allegro right now, a blue hand cannon, because it has Opening Shot and Ricochet Rounds to increase the range. But the DFA has much better starting range and Accurized Rounds and also Opening Shot. Stats-wise and perks-wise, I think the DFA clearly beats the Allegro, but apart from Opening Shot, we actually have one more perk. We have Rampage, which is a fantastic perk again in PvE. So again, you have the option to switch between Opening Shot, I think clearly the best choice if you're running the DFA in PvP, and then if you want to do strikes or whatever, you switch to Rampage, and you still have a very potent weapon. The DFA is looking absolutely legit, again, for PvP especially. If you are at all interested in using hand cannons in the Crucible, the DFA is absolutely going to be something you want to grind for. And so guys, that is it for the video, a look at all of the Nightfall exclusive loot. Now, I certainly wish they did add a weapon for every single Nightfall. However, because we have this system in place, because the Nightfalls were recently updated, I hope that Bungie uses this as a catalyst to introduce even more loot. When DLC 2 drops, I hope they add a new Nightfall exclusive weapon or piece of loot for every single Nightfall. And we're going to be getting new Nightfalls as well with the next expansion. Hopefully they will come with Nightfall exclusive weapons. Again, guys, that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, please remember to support it by rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to support the channel itself, check out the official merch linked in the description down below. Now, if you want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.